You know, July 30th is a day that I'll remember for the rest of my life for obvious reasons. Clayton had an unfortunate, just kind of freak accident. He stepped off of the curb at the corner of South Fort Thomas and Highland Avenue. Don't know whether he tripped or wasn't looking when he stepped or exactly what happened, but his head hit the side of a car, and in an instant he had a very, very serious accident. It's what they call traumatic brain injury, the main part of the damage coming inside his head where his brain got bruised and banged around. He's got fractures to various parts of his skull. And it really immediately put us all in a different place. He was in intensive care for 2 weeks. The first 3 or 4 days of intensive care at Children's was really a wild ride where we just didn't know what was going to happen next. And then he moved through the end of that 2-week period, recovering really just as best as they could expect. And he's been in rehab now at Children's for 2 weeks, and he's doing really remarkably well, making all the progress that they would like to see him make. It's still early, so we don't know, exactly how it's going to go, but everything indicates that that he could have a full recovery and get back to being, where he was in the middle of July before the accident. Throughout this whole, kind of unreal event, because it's been hard for us to just wrap our minds around it, but right from the beginning, we've had a tremendous amount of support from the community. People were there in the hospital the day that it happened. People from our church, and we actually go to one church over in Cincinnati, and Clayton and Simon both go to church here in Fort Thomas at Highlands United Methodist Church. So people from both of those church communities came around us, people that we've played soccer with in the various soccer programs, neighborhood friends. Tons of people came around us with all kinds of support, offering to bring food, financial help if we needed it, watching Simon while we were at the hospital. But probably the biggest thing that they gave us in terms of support was a ton of prayers, positive thoughts just pouring into the situation, and just an overall feeling that that with God's kind of oversight, things were going to turn out well, and that was hugely helpful. Some examples of ways that people were helping out. A couple different groups got together to sell bracelets. Actually, within a day or two of the accident, some of the discipleship group at the Methodist Church asked how they could help, and they immediately started putting together Pray for Clay bracelets and giving them away at the Twisty Grill. Another set of students ordered bracelets, and we're selling them, kind of like the Lance Armstrong Live Strong bracelets that said Pray for Clay on them, selling them for $3 and helping raise funds that they would donate to to our family to help cover some of the costs that we're going to be seeing, things that aren't covered by insurance and some other financial impacts that we're going to have. The next street over, they did a lemonade sale and bake sale, and they raised a whole bunch of money, people stopping and buying lemonade and cupcakes and cookies, but also just making free will donations to help out. And when the kids came over from that bake sale to present the money, it was just awesome. And I'll never forget I think he's a kindergartner, Abe, from the next street over. He handed me the bag of money, and he asked me, is this enough? And I was like, oh no, you're not asking that question. Is this enough to bring Clay home? And I told him, this is great. This is a big help, and we will get Clay home soon. People have been on a schedule to cook us meals. So like 3 days a week, someone drops off a meal for us, which is fantastic because Pam and I are like back and forth to the hospital, and we really would have a hard time cooking all the time. But we've got great meals coming and leftovers on days that we're not getting meals. So that's been fantastic. People have come and sat with us at the hospital, watched Clay when we need to take a break, offered to, do basically anything that we could ask them to do. But again, I'll go back and say that the main thing that people have been able to do that's been hugely helpful is just praying for Clay's recovery and sending positive thoughts, remembering the ways that Clay has impacted their life already, and what a sweet kid he is. And that's all just been beyond explanation in terms of how great it's been. Yeah, I'll add one other thing. It's been interesting, the process to watch, because as people have connected and wanted to help out, we've tried to be as good as we can about giving opportunities to help, because it almost seems like we wouldn't be giving people something that they want, which is a way to be helpful and involved, if we didn't let them help. So we could say, oh no, we've got it covered, but that seems like it wouldn't be respectful or generous or inclusive. So we've tried to include people, and in the process we're hearing back a lot of stories about how people's faith and prayer is being renewed, or how they've really felt good about being able to help, about just a lot of little stories that indicate that more is going on here than just Clay's recovery. And that's great, because it's a sad thing, we all wish that it hadn't happened, but at least if in the recovery and in everyone pulling for Clay, there's other good things happening. Community coming together and being supportive, people having individual their stories, feeling more positive about life, celebrating the way that Clay is recovering. It's good stuff, and it makes me feel a little bit better to know that there's good that's coming out of this beyond just Clay taking a hit and then getting back to where he was previously. I really think there's the possibility that out of this we see more on the other side of it than we had going in. And that's a crazy kind of concept, but I think it's sort of the way that God's economy works. I can't capture all the ways that people have been helpful, and people have sent so many text messages and commented on Clay's care page and on the Facebook page, and we're not able to respond back to everyone. But I hope people know just how appreciative we are, and I'm sure I can't name all the people that have been helpful, and I wouldn't even try, because I would miss people if I was doing that. But just everyone who's been involved and supportive needs to know how great it is for us and how blessed we feel to live in a community where something like this can happen and you don't feel alone. Something like this can happen and you just feel like you're loved and known and supported. It's a great thing. I don't think everyone lives in a town like we live in, and I don't think everyone gets the kind of support that we're getting. And that's too bad, and we can't fix that right now.